Välkomna till SAPSA IMPULS online onsdag. Welcome to online this Wednesday. IMPULS 2019, with over 800 participated located in Stockholm, became digital this year. This reflects the time we are in, and one of the largest benefits for us is that we have been able to get speakers from all around the globe. My name is Pontus Borgström, and I'm on the SAPSA board, and I'm the moderator of this keynote. We will continue now a short bit in Swedish. Fokusgrupper är en otroligt viktig del av SAPSAs verksamhet, och de drivs av entusiaster inom många olika områden. Vi har återkommande möten inom olika områden, och ni vet om morgonen är inget undantag från det. Så att se till att titta på schemat, vad som ligger. Många av våra fokusgrupper kommer även att fortsätta diskutera ämnen som dykt upp på IMPULS, så missa inte allt spännande framöver. So today, I'm really happy to be able to present one of our international speakers with us online today with the presentation Digital Transformation in Unprecedented Times, live here at IMPULS Online from SAP, Robin Manherz.
Pontus, thank you so much, and I'm so pleased to join you from the state of Florida in the United States of America. What a privilege to be able to address you all today. As mentioned, my name is Robin Manherz, and I'm the Chief Performance Officer for SAP. And that means I bear responsibility for executing SAP's strategy to achieve our performance goals, regardless of the environment that we're in. And as we all know, we are in an unprecedented environment, that is for certain. And so today, I just wanted to give you some perspective on how we at SAP have really strived to achieve resilience and stay focused on performance outcomes, despite the many unprecedented, unexpected things that have come our way. I would certainly say my job as Chief Performance Officer at SAP has been one of the most challenging and also one of the most exhilarating to be in times such as these. I report directly to our CEO, Christian Klein, and I stand alongside him in looking at how we utilize SAP software and really look at embellishing our solutions and commercial models to make sure that we can deliver results for you and also for ourselves within SAP. I think we could all say that we are all focused on digital transformation without question. And we were before these unprecedented times we're in, and we are even more now. In fact, I would pause and ask you to say, who do you think is really driving digital transformation most at your company today? Is it the CEO? Is it the CTO, the CIO? Or if we're really honest with ourselves, is it COVID-19? I think it's really, really stunning to admit to ourselves, in as much as digital transformation has been front and center for so many of us for so long, it was in fact an uninvited guest that really forced us to pursue digital transformation at a pace that we never anticipated before. At least from my perspective, and I imagine from yours as well, this caused very rapid investment shifts and accelerated timelines for us at SAP. And I want to share with you kind of how that's looked for us so that you can understand first how we're delivering for you, and then perhaps some of my perspectives might help in terms of how you are really embracing digital transformation in this absolutely unprecedented time. I think I would ask ourselves, we know that COVID has profoundly impacted us personally and professionally in so many ways. And certainly we know that certain industries or geographies were uniquely impacted. But we also do know that there are some companies that seem to have been able to sustain consistency and focus, even in spite of the unexpected things that COVID brought our way. And that really leads me to ask myself, what is it that made certain companies more successful in making rapid adaptations than others? And I would say that's really focused on developing a philosophy and an operational model of resilience. there's many things that maybe we could have done in the past that are more associated with resistance. Resistance is where we can plan. Resistance is where we can anticipate things and insulate ourselves from being impacted by factors. There's things that we can, really protect ourselves from if we do appropriate diligence, foresight, research, competitive intelligence. That's resistance. But then there's resilience. And resilience is having a strategy to deal with those things that you cannot insulate yourself from and that you cannot predict. So what we've done at SAP is really tried to operationalize a working model of resilience. And it starts first with looking at the base financials as you see here. We know, and certainly we observed as you did, that there are, of course, savings that occur when we are facing a unexpected need to be resilient. What you see on the curve here is, and I see my slides moving a bit sporadically here. Let me see if I can get us to the one I'm speaking to. Sorry, I apologize there. The slide that I'm looking at is the one that is focused on showing the cost savings together with the revenue increase. So the automatic cost savings that we saw are, of course, associated with travel and facilities and those things that with the introduction of COVID became immediate savings opportunities for us as well as companies everywhere. But what we had to do was rapidly and quickly, boldly reinvest as we saw those automatic savings occur to put them into those investments that give us resilience, that give us agility, that allow us to deliver digital transformation. And we did that in real time, and I'm going to share with you very specific examples as to how we did it. But I also think it's quite interesting to look at the McKinsey notation here that as we've learned from COVID, how to adjust a financial model to be actually engineered for resiliency, I think we may be looking at a new economic paradigm in which we have to always assume that there's something unexpected on the horizon and have our investment plans set to quickly pivot from a financial perspective to realize savings and invest quickly in bold digital transformation and resiliency. So that notwithstanding, I want to talk a little bit about the operational model that we implemented and some of the tactics that we've undertaken beneath this sort of financial construct. So let's step back just for one moment and look at the situation. New economic shocks, the unexpected, is not new to the industry, is not new to the world. You can see some examples here that we faced: the Great Depression, obviously a huge phenomena in the world, other major things we have faced certainly. But as you'll see here in terms of degree of impact, due to the amount of interoperability, interdependency, digital connectivity that we share with one another, we've obviously seen that COVID provides a degree of complexity absolutely unprecedented in terms of any other time that we've seen an unexpected, uncontrollable business paradigm hit us in unexpected ways. It shows us that the degrees of complexity and the multiple dimensions that we have to come at our business in order to achieve resiliency cannot be underestimated. It's really about expecting the unexpected at all times. So let's look at that then. Then what were the characteristics or the principles that I was chartered with operationalizing on behalf of SAP in order to be able to react and respond to this multidimensional complexity that was brought upon us by COVID? True resiliency, in my opinion, means that we have to operationalize the concepts of flexibility, tolerance, and cohesion. We have to actually operationalize and bring to the task and measurable level what it means to be able to A, adapt quickly, B, be able, in the term of tolerance, bring focus back to our business and our success and the success of our customers, independent of the noise outside. And then finally, cohesion. As we know, in times of trouble, two things can happen. People can become more fractured, or people can be brought together against a common goal. we have to operationalize cohesion to be certain that we are driving together and not driving apart. Before I go into specifically how we've operationalized these for resiliency, it's also important to point out that there are three very important characteristics or characters that have to come alongside together for us to be able to operationalize resiliency at SAP. That's our customers, you, first and foremost. That also is our partners, and then our employees and our shareholders. So I look at operationalizing performance for resiliency in crisis along three dimensions: flexibility, tolerance, cohesion, achieved with customers, partners, employees, and shareholders. When we cross that matrix, we really have a recipe for resiliency. Of course, I'm the first one to say, if you can't measure it, you can't fix it. So we lay out very clear KPIs and metrics to make certain that we are not misjudging whether or not we're achieving the resiliency that we need. As it relates to customers, you guys are very familiar with the NPS surveys that we issue. We take those exceedingly seriously. With the introduction of Qualtrics to help us power our NPS surveys, we get increasingly more intelligence about what our customers are telling us about not just what they're experiencing from an operational perspective, but also what they're experiencing literally in terms of their interactions with us and the sentiments and feelings that are inspired within them. We also are converting kind of the way that we look at our fiscal interaction with you to look particularly at cloud backlog, which lets us know not just the bookings that we sold you, but the real value that you're extrapolating. We need to know that you didn't just commit to us, but that we delivered. We delivered in a way that you were able to adopt, consume, renew, and glean value from what we sold you. These are metrics that have to be trending upwards for us to know that we're delivering on your behalf. As far as our employees go, you will see that we do leverage our Qualtrics platform for employee engagement, but we also drill further and in a more scientific sense, look at the processes, the interaction points that our employees are experiencing during times of crisis to make certain that we're delivering self-service tools and experience whereby they can be productive. And then finally, shareholders, our dear shareholders. As you guys know, SAP took a bold move under the leadership of our executive board and our CEO, Christian Klein, last Monday, when we adjusted our guidance to the shareholders. And we really set forth saying, when we look at where we are, when we look at our commitment to customers, when we look at the impact of recent events in the market and the world, and we really commit to long-term resiliency, then we have to look at our margin and our financial parameters to make sure that they are absolutely precision aligned to our strategy, focused singularly on delivering for customer success. And you will see the bold moves that we took to make certain that we were establishing a resilient, permanent, long-term, sustainable plan to deliver. And those are the metrics that we measure by, and that's how I make sure as Chief Performance Officer that I am continuing to deliver the performance results to which we've committed. So now let's just look, in brief, I wanted to share with you to bring this to life. So it's one thing for me to talk about conceptual grids and how we look at operationalizing things, but I wanted to give you a sense of what this looks like in terms of tactics that we delivered. I think these may be, again, ways for you to understand how we are trying to gauge your needs and your sentiments to make sure that we're delivering, but also might be some good food for thought as you exercise resiliency and digital transformation in your four walls. So as mentioned, let's start first with the concept of flexibility. Flexibility, being able to adapt and adapt quickly. And then when we look first at our most important constituency, our customers, our example in providing you flexibility in the immediate term as we've faced the COVID crisis is digital, digital, digital. Just some examples that you guys would have seen. We delivered our first virtual Sapphire with over 10,000 participants. We held firm to thinking we may have had a live event in Orlando, Florida, up until weeks before, only weeks or days. And we rapidly brought together, as you guys have done in this particular session, a holistic digital experience that, looking back in retrospect, does provide benefits in terms of the numbers of people that can be embraced and the variety of content that can be delivered. We also increased our digital sales platform. So we found that now in the digital world, our customers, just like we as consumers, have a much bigger appetite and need to transact business digitally. We saw significantly more volume on our digital store, and we are continuing to drive and invest in online commerce so that you, our customers, can transact business with us in a digital interface rather than requiring a live interaction. We also delivered 90% of SAP services remotely. Nobody would have ever thought that we could do that at that scale. And even more pleasantly surprised were we to learn that our customer satisfaction increased in large part with the delivery of services from a remote delivery mechanism. We also increased substantially the number of partner applications that we provide on the App Center. It's been all about digital, digital, digital. Going from the paradigm that we can only provide flexibility in human form to realizing that our customers are able to do many more things digitally, which enables maximum flexibility than I think any of us thought before. So we will continue to exploit these digital platforms to assure flexibility for you in terms of how you engage with us. When we look at our employees, wow, the real standpoint or the real pillars that we had to use looking at our employees' ability to be flexible was to give them options and give them self-service, and then give them a voice to tell us what they needed. We had to adapt, as you did, to move our workforce into a home environment in unprecedented ways. So we certainly did what you guys did in terms of looking at what do we need to do, guys, in order to give you the processes, give you the tools that you need to be successful. We rolled out training modules, enablement modules. We called them WorkX, which immediately helped enable people. How do I work in a digital environment? We began doing real-time data capture using our XM platform to understand where the pains were so we could keep delivering updated digital processes and tools. It's been quite an experience to engage with our employees in a digital world. We've stood up portals to enable ongoing dialogue, and again, making sure that we capture voice, we translate that, and we deliver self-service paradigms in real time to our employees. Now, our shareholders, in terms of flexibility, as you know, our two things that we stand for at SAP in no uncertain terms is making the world better and being sustainable in terms of realizing the sustainability needs of not just our business, but our planet. So we did illustrate and participate immediately in Corona warning apps that were used initially in the European market. And we also delivered back out more commitments that we stand behind sustainability, for without that, there is no flexibility at all for us to deliver. You also, this is where our commercial models came in advising our shareholders that we will offer an increasing number of flexible commercial models. And we'll talk about that more at 8:30 in a session that I will co-lead with my colleague, Matt Angel. But certainly we know in order to deliver flexibility from a financial perspective, we have to deliver flexible commercial models where we can offer different methods of monetization, pay as you go, commit to consume, beyond subscription and on-prem. So that gives you a flavor of operationalizing flexibility. Now let's pivot to tolerance. Remember, this is taking back our interest in the success of our customers in amidst the noise. As we know, it's so easy, and we all experienced it, to get the eye off the ball, to get pulled into problems or domino effect of impact that made us lose sight on what does our business need to do today to remain resilient in this environment. And so we immediately launched what we called Back to Best. And that, if you participated in that platform with us in the very early days of lockdown, We provided, quote, free access to the world at large to be able to use our Qualtrics technologies to immediately survey sentiment of employees and customers. We delivered Ariba Discovery to connect buyers and suppliers when we were in the era of having to connect ventilators and hospital beds. We were able to deploy that quickly so that everyone could stay focused on the immediate business need. We also have done things like the Universal ID and SAP for Me platform so that our customers can go one place, level set, zone in on what is my business problem, what are the tools, how am I executing, what technology do I need, how do I keep my eye on the success of my company and my customers. This was a big focus for us to immediately mobilize to say, we're gonna stay focused on how we get back to our best as the chaos ensues around us. Similarly, for our employees, we used a listen, care, and support mantra. And this is where, as I mentioned, we converted 96% of our 100,000 employees to a digital work environment within 24 hours. Just stop and think about that. 96% of our 100,000 employees took at home environment within 24 hours. We had to rapidly empower them with tools, rapidly empower with productivity tools, and this was no easy feat. The toughest one for us was our developers. As you guys know, marketeers, salespeople are often road warriors, but our coders and our developers were not at all accustomed to work home. So we did use sentiment analysis, pulse surveys, very active in application remote environment mechanisms for feedback so that we could immediately implement and replenish tools to keep our developers operating at maximum efficiency as they were undergoing a completely new work experience. So for us, tolerance of our employee base during COVID has been focused on rapid empowerment and bringing productivity tools to the forefront immediately and quickly. And then finally, for our shareholders, staying tolerant. This is, as you know, getting back to the basics and making sure that we're focused on what we have to do. That's where you saw our revised financial guidance. We are going to stay focused on the needs of our customers. We are going to deliver what we have to for our business to stay true to our strategy and true to who we are. That is our tolerance. Our tolerance is to be true to ourselves, true to our customers, true to our brand, and serious about the execution of our strategy, no matter what comes our way. And then last, let's talk about cohesion. This is my favorite one because this is what it's all about on the world stage. Cohesion equals togetherness. So when we looked at delivering cohesion for our customers, it's all about integration. And you saw that in our guidance, we also announced that we are going to invest $500 million, that's $500 million, in rationalizing our platform, pulling together our heterogeneous platform mix so that we can deliver consistent SLAs, data quality, availability, user interfaces, integration to you guys. This was a significant statement that we made. If we can't work together in one common platform as one company, you guys as our customers cannot come alongside us in a cohesive way because we don't make that possible. I can tell you, SAP runs SAP, and as performance officer, I'm right there with you using our technology to drive cohesion. Also, we're making sure that from a process investigation point of view, we always look at our processes the way that you as our customer experience them. We also have rationalized a number of roles, touch points that you have to hit between your salesperson, your client partner, your escalation manager to give you a more singular experience with us. We've also applied incentives. All of our employees are incented on customer success. That's what binds us all. And those new compensation metrics were new in the age of resiliency to make sure that there is no question about what we are cohesive around, and that's your success as our customer. For our employees, certainly, again, driving cohesion is essential really from being present, communication. Our employees told us during these times of transition and fear, they want us to communicate early, often, over communicate. So we've had a very, very strong focus on communication platforms and providing continuous communication, streaming communication dialogues, open water coolers, places for people to communicate so that we can come together during these times and eliminate as much uncertainty as possible. Another thing that I think is interesting to share with you is also, particularly in the US, in addition to COVID, we've been hit with some serious unrest on the racial inequality side. So we also have driven and invested in significant operational diversity and inclusion imperatives during this time. We certainly deciphered that diversity and inclusion and a collective embracing of everyone, that everyone has a voice and everyone is heard, everyone has a seat at the table in a meaningful way. We invested and operationalized very purposeful diversity and inclusion programs to make sure that we addressed those concerns in real time. And then finally, cohesion with our shareholders. You saw that when we launched our new guidance and we talked about a revised strategy, we said it was a reinvention, not a redo. It is just a tweaking. It's a reinvention. It's a one-upping. It's a recommitment. It's not a redo. So we continue to unify our shareholders against a strategy to which we committed a long time ago: delivery of the intelligent enterprise and always focus on our customer. So we continue to use that as we embellish our strategy and give the right financial guidance to show that we are serious. So we've operationalized this through my office with the responsibility of the strategy at the top, the folks at the tip of the spear working with you day in, day out. In between is that criticality of the operationalized dimensions of cohesion that I mentioned. Clear KPIs, clear imperatives, no question about what we're about and the alignment between our strategy, our financial guidance, and what people experience in their engagement with us every day. We do that through best run programs. We do it through process improvement. We do it through commercialization and pricing innovation, and we do it through using experiential data in concert with operational data. We do it programmatically, but we also do use light governance to assure that people know that the mechanisms are there to unify us, but they won't be overburdened with minutia and administrivia. This is always part of the challenge, to be able to push large volumes of content out to lots of people at one time. So this is also something that we have worked to structure to achieve the governance needed without overwhelming our employees. I'll tell you what, guys, as the old adage says, as we mentioned, change is the only constant. We have to expect the unexpected. It's truer now more than ever. I feel 100% confident that we as a community, you as our customers, SAP as not just your technology provider, but your business partner during, really the most unprecedented of times. I think it's a real opportunity for us as a community to come together and stand on the world stage to say, we are a resilient family and we will drive consistency, we will drive results, and we will make sure that we deliver performance on behalf of enterprises everywhere. We're in this together, guys. I look forward to you experiencing more in terms of the resiliency that we are bringing forward, and look forward to working with you to empower that within your enterprises. Thank you so very much for your time, and I look forward to a lot more conversations like this one. Stay safe. Goodbye.
Thanks a lot. I feel it's a good time now to look for the stock market to buy some SAP stocks for my retirement.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. So thanks a lot for this really inspiring and energizing keynote. And it was a really interesting presentation on how to change SAP as a huge company in a very short time frame. And now also for the rest of the listeners, you will also be a part of the SAPSA license group meeting that will take place in a few minutes now after the keynote. So
thank you again for the opportunity and partnership and all the support in preparing this digital platform. I'd say we did a pretty good job, my partner in crime.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Take care.